Welcome to Speed News, where we cover all things speedrunning, including world records, PBs, glitches, tricks, and discoveries, as well as community happenings. Dare I say, drama? Let's get into it. So we're going to start off hot with the world record Roundup. August has been an amazing month for speedrun history, and indeed, some of the most optimized games that we've seen over the years have been getting pushed lower and lower years after we thought they've hit the human limit. I'm talking about games like Super Mario 64. Big shoutouts to Kano, who lowered the 0, 1, and 16 star record over the last month, and an extra shoutout to Slippery Nip, who barely cut him by 2 seconds 5 days ago. Really huge stuff and really emotional pop-offs. Check out Simply's reaction videos in order to see some of the emotion that goes into watching a pop-off like that when you're a high-level runner. There's a lot to it.
Oh, it's so good, man. Feels so good to see somebody getting a world record. Ugh. I never used to cry when I saw people's records.
In Ocarina of Time, we're seeing a huge surge in any % world records lately. Big shoutouts to Danny B, who is the legendary person who pushed glitchless in that game, and now with new SRM methods and new ways of doing this kind of arbitrary code execution type route through any % Ocarina of Time, it makes for a really wild and fast-paced run. And big shoutouts to Danny B and Save State, who got the first sub 7-minute run in Ocarina of Time. You know, not too long ago, we thought sub 17 minutes was a big deal, and now look at us. Now, I know you're thinking, Nintendo, who cares? What about the PlayStation games? What about all the PS1 gamers? Well, shoutouts, of course, to me for getting the 120% Spiral 1 world record just over a week ago. I'm sure you guys know all about that, but maybe you didn't know that Toasted Cat recently got the reignited 120% record, getting the first ever sub 1 hour in-game time run of Spiral 1 reignited. Big shoutouts to you, Toasted Cat. And of course, how could I forget about Ratchet & Clank going commando, Rack 2, Fear. The legendary Fear_SR got a 22-minute, 53-second no IMG run of Rack 2, and less recently he got the 7-minute, 38-second any % run of Rack 2. So big shoutouts to you, Fear, doing big things in Rack 2. Again, these games are not easy to get to that level in, and they're very highly optimized. I would say on a similar tier to Mario and Ocarina of Time, and so it's really great to see all these games getting pushed. Now, I want to kind of shift gears to a more modern 3D games here. Breath of the Wild, we've been seeing a lot of any % pushing in that game as well by a player named Player5. They recently got a 25-30 any % run of Breath of the Wild, but the very next day, they lowered that record by 7 seconds to get a 25-23. Guys, keep your eyes on Player5 if you're interested in Breath of the Wild. It is easily one of the most mechanically deep 3D speedruns of all time, and I love games where you can really have a lot of creativity in your movement and expressiveness in the way that you use glitches and tricks to maneuver the world, and Breath of the Wild is a beautiful, exemplary example of that. So check out Player5. And of course, how could I forget about the homie Sasquatch Sensei getting the Halo 3 easy world record with a 101.57. Sasquatch's stream has definitely been taking off lately, and I'm so proud of him to see it. I've been following him for a little while, kind of hanging out, lurking, but when I started watching his runs recently, I started to really see, like, god damn, some of the tricks in Halo 3 are insane. Doing like a little shield to boost at like 1,000,000 miles per hour. All the different little sort of tricks they do with the gravity hammer and rocket to kind of boost past those Cortana cutscenes where she gets all emotional, like, oh chief, I'm so emotionally distressed even though I'm a robot. They just push right through all that stuff, and so there's a ton of really cool tricks and little momentum abuses throughout that run that I love to watch. Definitely check out Sasquatch Sensei. And that's it for our world record roundup for now, but there is a lot more news to cover, so let's see what we got coming up next here. So, there's been some amazing glitches, tricks, and discoveries found in the speedrunning community lately, so what do you say we dig right into it? Firstly, big shoutouts to Boba, a casual gamer who is part of the Yogscast, who recently, by complete sheer accident, went up a staircase in Metal Gear Solid, got overrun by guards, and in trying to shoot them, she ended up clipping through the door and loading the next area preemptively without completing the requirements. This saves 2.5 minutes on the Metal Gear Solid speedrun, and immediately when she posted this on Twitter, it exploded, and all sorts of gamers, speedrunners, and glitch hunters alike scrambled, chomped at the bit to try to figure out a setup for it, which they did, and now it's incorporated in the run. So big shouts to you, Boba, and you'll love to see all the people saying, thank you, Boba, for finding this, and meanwhile she's just like, yeah, all right, I did that. So yeah, awesome, Boba.
I am the best at video games, and no one can stop me or tell me the same, because I'm the best at video games.
Next, we have a new cool little glitch in Payback 2 by YOLO Menace. This is one that barely caught the corner of my eye on Speedrun Reddit. Not a very well known about speed game, not a very popular one, but it's a really cool glitch during a driving mission where you end up driving into the end of the mission goal while also killing a necessary pedestrian, which ends up failing the mission, completing it, and death abusing at the same time. This definitely saves a little bit of time and blows open any percent for Payback 2. So I want to say a big shout out to you, YOLO Menace, because even though there's not a lot of eyes or a huge like community effort happening here, it's really cool to see like these little tiny discoveries pop up on the corner of my radar. The speedrun gods are watching you and they're thanking you. Finally, I want to point out that there is going to be an Oblivion 100% speedrun record being set. It's preemptively being set to be broken on August 28th by over 12 hours. To those who don't know, the Elder Scrolls series is notoriously huge, and the 100% runs for those games are quite ridiculous, and there's a lot of things to complete. The most recent record for that, by the same people, this is PRC Live, was just over, I believe, 36 hours, and they're hoping to cut that down by 12 hours this time. They're going to be taking advantage of a lot of glitches that they've also pioneered, which is why I put them in this section, including the infinite level up glitch and the Dorian glitch, which allows you to farm gold at 1,000 gold per click, which, if you can imagine, that's a lot of gold. So check out PRC Live. They have a really cool YouTube channel. If you're interested in Oblivion or just Elder Scrolls content, especially with glitches and speedruns, they make a lot of really great videos, so do check them out. And that brings the end to the glitch and trick roundup, but before we're done here, we got to get over to TAS Time. That's right, we have a couple of really cool new tool-assisted super plays of games coming out here in the past few weeks. So what do you say we dig right into that? We have Super Boom Fan making a really sick Crash 2 100% TAS. This completes the game in 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 50 seconds, and that's on emulator. So really, if that was on the fastest platform, PS2, that would actually be a 56:43. This kills the old RTA record by over, 14, 13 minutes? Also set by Super Boom Fan. So you know this task had a lot of really intricate work put into it by someone who really knows the game. So big shout outs to Super Boom Fan. My favorite part of this run is that it takes advantage of a glitch that makes Crash, makes his model get smaller and smaller. So as he keeps moving, Crash gets tinier and tinier. It's a really fun watch, and there's a lot of really cool out of bounds movement and things that you don't see in the RTA run. So yeah, do check that out. I'll have that linked below. Next, I want to cover Crash Team Racing, another Crash game. This is a 19-minute and 21-minute run by Alessandro Mastroianni. Alessandro Mastroianni, yeah, Baba Bootsy. Dude, this is an amazing run because it takes advantage of a glitch known as Battle Mode Warp Glitch. And if you guys are familiar with Hypno Shark, perhaps you know he has a roughly 7-minute any percent run of the game. So you're thinking, well, what's this task all about 19 minutes? Well, this Battle Mode Warp Glitch technically warps you directly to the credits, but it does not defeat Oxide, the final boss. What this task aims to do is actually complete the Oxide fight setting in the memory, so that way it counts as more of a true completion. It's a really cool proof of concept and definitely a really deeply technically intricate run. Definitely check out the task notes for it on tasvideos.org. I'll have those linked in the description if you want to kind of dig a little bit more into the intricacies of how Crash Team Racing works and how this whole this whole glitch works. Indeed, it's a lot of cool memory manipulation happening in that, so check that out if you're more kind of nerdy inclined about it. And then finally, we have Mega Man X6. This one just popped up on my radar while I was checking out tasvideos.org. Really cool website, by the way. This is Mega Man X6, a co-op one-controller run by Roland Menel. It is a really interesting run because you have to have a patch of the game in order to play as X and Zero from the start, like in a co-op style. But what they opted to do in this task was use one controller to control both of the characters. So basically, it's the same inputs for both characters in a task to complete the game as quickly as possible. Another really cool proof of concept type run, and even though it isn't a traditional speedrun category, these tasks really kind of bring to light all these cool little ideas that you can sort of bring to life through tasking that wouldn't otherwise happen through RTA runs. So big shouts to you, Roland, and really cool Mega Man X6 run there. Again, I'll have it linked in the description below. And that was TAS Time, my friends. But before we're done with our video today, I gotta give a few community shoutouts, so let's hop into that. So as a Spyro speedrunner, I gotta show some love to my Spyro fam. On August 16th and 17th, over a 24-hour period, we saw 3 high-level Vortex PBs back-to-back. This sort of thing is super unprecedented. Big shoutouts to CFG Gamebreaker and Composer and Anchovy. All 3 of these players have been working super hard in this category. Super difficult times to achieve, and I'm really proud of you guys. To give you guys reference, I have record in the main categories, and my PB in that is like, I don't know, 30 minutes. It's pretty bad, so it takes a lot of work to get the tricks in that category up to that level. So to see 3 back-to-back godly PBs occur like that, really cool. Now next, I want to talk about some really awesome tournament series that have been happening in the PlayStation community. One just wrapped up. It's called Rack Champs, and it's a Ratchet & Clank speedrunning tournament series that spans across the various games in the series, organized by Sm64 amongst other members in the community. And basically, they raised over $2,000 in the prize pool, and it turns out that Scott O. Bozo, the king, is the true Rack Champ, covering all these different games. And it makes sense because he's got a record in a few different categories as well as the trilogy category extension. So big shout out to you, Scott Obozo, for taking the majority of that $2,000 prize pool. You earned it, and you're a goddamn Ratchet & Clank gamer. Big shout outs to you, Scott. And of course, I can't talk about speedrunning tournaments without mentioning Dragon Blitz's Symphony of the Night speedrunning randomizer tournament that's been going on for the past couple weeks now. It's coming to a close here soon, but if you check out Dragon Blitz's stream and YouTube, you'll still see a bunch of great content regarding that. He does a really nice sort of commentary thing where he's got all the different players up in the different places, and he's watching all of them and sort of reacting to them. So even if you don't really know a lot about Symphony of the Night or you're not familiar with the game, he really does a great job of explaining what's going on and why certain players are ahead or behind. And I know that could be a tough thing to understand when you're watching, you know, a multi-Twitch or a bunch of different racers. So big shouts to Dragon Blitz for organizing this race. And surprisingly, we're already over $1,000 in the prize pool. I'm not sure if Dragon Blitz even expected that, but man, goes to show the amount of community love for not just Dragon Blitz, but for Symphony of the Night and PlayStation speedrunning in general. So hop on over to his channel if you want to catch that and see the grand finale of it. It's coming up. But with that, guys, that's going to be it for Speed News today. A lot of cool happenings in August here, and I just want to say, all of these games have been speedrun for years and years and years, and to see them still getting pushed and still to see so much community effort happening in them really warms my heart, and I hope that you guys go and check out some of these games. I have links in all the description as well that you can check it all out. But besides that, thank you for watching. But before you click off of this video, I have a really big announcement to make. Guys, I am launching a Patreon. And the reason I've decided to do this is because, one, I'm streaming and making videos full time now. And if you watch me only through YouTube, it's a really great way to support me. Definitely check it out. And also, I have a version of this video that's going to be premiering on there. That was the original draft that I made about a week ago that so much more news came out. I decided to remake this video. Not to mention, I'll also be posting runs and full streams on there as well. So if you want extra content from me, that's a great place to go. Only $1 a month to access everything, or you can donate more if you want to show some love. But either way, guys, keep gaming, keep showing some love for your fellow speedrunners, and keep fucking changing speedrun history. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Alessandro Mastroianni. Alessandro Mastroianni.
Alessandro Mastroianni.
Alessandro Mastroianni.
Alessandro Mastroianni.
Alessandro Mastroianni.
Alessandro Mastroianni.